All right, guys, welcome to our next episode of Financial Freedom Podcast. I have a privilege and honor having Michael Uvelin and Matthew Borsch on the call with us today. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Yeah, I've been doing real well, brother.
Yeah.
All right. So we definitely, I can't wait to share with everybody that's watching and listening to us live today, and those that actually checking out this recording on our podcast. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or you are listening to the podcast, click subscribe. Don't forget to do that so you can keep up with us. And there's many more episodes that's going to be coming out. So we just started this podcast not too long ago, and we keep bringing this amazing individuals that are in the insurance industry that most of them didn't start with us or haven't been in the insurance industry forever, including Matt and Mike. So they are running a massive organization. And I was on the plane with Caleb not too long ago. We looked at all the numbers, and I noticed that your agency combined in the month of November did, close to $500,000 in issued paid business?
Yeah, we did 387 finish in November, and then we're on pace to break 500. Should be closer to 550 here for December.
Wow, that's amazing. Matt, when did you start in the business?
Yeah, so brand new to insurance, started last summer. Started part-time in June. Caleb and Gabe approached me with this late spring. I was very skeptical at first, but once I saw what they were doing, I wanted to be a part of it. And so got my license in May, started part-time June. Struggled a little bit at first, a little bit of ego issues, and thought I was working hard when I wasn't, but fixed those as quick as I could, started full-time July 1st. And only regret is that I didn't find this opportunity sooner,
No doubt. So it hasn't even been a year and a half. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I started about a year ago, right from this time. I was just about finishing up my contracting, and we worked at the same company, Matt and I did. That's how we kind of knew each other. Had to work together for a few years, and then same thing. Caleb had kind of reached out to me a couple of times. I was still pretty busy at my former employer, but he kept reaching out, showing me his check stubs, and so eventually I was like, I told him, I said, look, this is the best job ever. It's a Ponzi scheme. I said, I don't know which one it is, but I'll at least get licensed and try to figure this thing out. So fast forward a year, and this is where we are today. So it's been an awesome opportunity.
No doubt. So, wow, that's crazy. So you guys been in the industry for a year for Mike and a year and a half for Matt. You guys running a team that issue paying $500,000 in paid business in the life insurance industry. That's insane. I mean, I don't want to compare you with anybody, but I mean, man, I know very few people that build $500,000 office in just a year and a half. That's insanity. So, but anyways, wow, you definitely on the way up. A lot of progress. We're gonna dive into it. But the first question I have for you really is related to the name of our podcast, which is Financial Freedom Podcast. So, not sure if you guys had the thoughts before joining the insurance industry about what it is, what it can bring. You probably heard some. I personally learned about insurance industry by talking to a multi-millionaire, 72-year-old who owns a lot of properties, a lot of real estate. And I asked him how he ended up owning that much real estate. And he said he started in life insurance. So that kind of, sparked everything for me, and the light bulb went off. And I'm like, all right, so that makes sense. But what about you guys? What and why? And by the way, I didn't start with FFL right away. You guys did. So the FFL is the first opportunity in the industry for you. But why are you guys thinking, your personal opinion, Matt and Mike, why FFL is a way to go to a status of financial, being financially free?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's so unique because it allows literally anyone the opportunity. Joe was talking about this, especially at the conference the other day, but there's so many industries and businesses out there where if you're unique, if you have some kind of crazy talent or some kind of crazy opportunity handed to you, then maybe you can build financial freedom and, and really generational wealth. But what I love so much about Family First is that an average schmuck like me can come in and make all kinds of mistakes, but kill it, and already, we're not there yet. We're constantly looking to grow and improve, but already make significantly more than I've ever made before, and also be able to help other people do the same thing. That's what I think makes FFL so unique when you compare it to any other industry and even any company in the industry. We're just set up different here, and it's really cool.
Absolutely. Mike, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's an incredible opportunity. Actually, before I came here, I actually had a brief stop at another insurance company. That I was there for a total of 1 day. So my first day there, they handed me a blank sheet of paper and a pen, and they said, fill out all your friends and family on here. And that was my last day there. Just because, I just wasn't, especially with the comp level I was going to be at, and mixed with just, selling friends and family, I knew eventually that was going to run. I knew sales. So when I was pitched the idea of FFL, where I'm having leads, I didn't care that I had to pay for them, because I understood, I've been in sales before, I understood, anything is easier with leads. And so that's where I just, I went full bore with it, just because, like you said, the financial freedom of it. I saw that pretty quick, and I just realized it's a numbers game. So right away, I just put my head down and went to work, bought a bunch of leads, and it started happening to me pretty quick, just because I was following what you guys already laid out to us to be successful in this.
That's awesome. Matt, I'll pass it back to you here. What did it look like for you? For anybody that's watching us today that decided to check out this podcast, what was it easy? Was it difficult? What was your first few months look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life, for sure, but it's also the most rewarding and the most worth it too. It was one of those things where I had to realize that I wasn't used to actual hard work. When you're salaried, when you don't have a whole lot of incentive to, really go out there and go the extra mile, it's easy to trick yourself into thinking that you're a hard worker. And so that's where at the beginning I really fell on my face, because I thought I could take that same kind of just get by, just do well enough to do my job kind of attitude and transfer it here. And that's not how this thing works. If you've been here longer than 3 days, that, so I found that out real quick. But yeah, so the first couple months, I mean, there's always different levels of struggle here. But once you get to the point where you've got 5 digits plus in the bank account, it's just a different level, and you can get there so quickly here. It's so cool, because there's always different things when you're running a business, but it gets a lot easier once you actually have some cash to back you up. And so it's just, I think that's what everyone should shoot for when they're first starting, is just, yeah, of course it's difficult. You're starting your own business. Like, why would it be easy? That is where I think this would feel a lot more like a scam, is if it were easy when you were first starting, but it's not. And so it's just the reality of it. So if you just grind it out, push through, and get that consistency, that experience, that cash flow rolling, that's where it really starts to get cool. So yeah, it's really difficult, but really worth it.
100%. But Matt, I know that just for our audience here that's listening to us today, so they can judge whether they should take an advice from you or not. I know you're building a business, and you're building a successful one, and a lot of money you're making by selling life insurance. You're putting it all back, and the end game is so worth it because we have this amazing opportunity with Family First Life. And obviously you can build an agency, but we also have an exit strategy, right? So through Integrity Marketing Group, it's so amazing. But just so we can really understand where you're at. I mean, obviously you're very young. You definitely look very young, and then you are. So how old are you, by the way, Matt?
Yeah, 26.
26. Okay, got it.
Yep.
So if you are not investing all the money back into the business, creating infrastructure, renting an office, hiring staff, spending a lot of money on marketing, working really hard on top of it, because the time is actually is even more expensive. Your time is even more expensive than probably that, than the money that you're spending. So you're putting a lot of resources, time, and energy into the business. But if you didn't do that and you just sold insurance, how much money you would have made in the last year and a half, approximately?
Oh, way over $500,000. Last year I issue paid about 230 grand for the year. So would have hit Hall of Fame if I had started sooner, but is what it is. Started July 1st through the end of the year, issue paid 230. So far for this year, I'm just a little bit over 550 for the year.
Wow. So you issued 800,000. You're spending quarter of the money on the leads. So safe to say about 600 grand you made in a year and a half. So it's not bad at all.
It's incredible.
It's more than most. All right, Mike, you, how much did you would have made if you weren't investing back in the business?
So I'm trying to, obviously this is finishing up my first year, and I'm trying to end right around 400,000 for the year, as the goal is. So I, minus leads, everything, at least, I would say 280, 290 probably after everything.
Well, that's incredible. Obviously have your, the first 5-6 months are the most difficult ones. So, and you exactly 5-6 months behind Matt here, but going pretty much at the same pace. So, earning like after gaining initial experience, this is some incredible money. All right. So if I was watching this podcast, if I was listening to you guys, I definitely would listen to you, because before going into insurance industry, I was making 60 grand a year probably. So, and I could not ever dream that this would be possible, but it is, and it's also legal and ethical. On top of it, we're helping a lot of people with something that they truly need and they truly deserve. And you both working hard, but Mike, let me ask you this: you eventually decided to partner up with Matt. Obviously, you complement and each other, and you decided to start this agency here. Like you were earning all this good money and still decided to start putting it back in the business and hoping it's going to return something back to you, right? So you took the risk, where most of the people, what they will do, they'll be like, this is great money, but let me start investing into real estate, right? So they're going to eventually get distracted. They're going to try to learn another skill. And, we all know it's probably not going to work, if you know how to sell, and you make that decision to start investing in the business and start building an agency. Why making that decision? What was your thought process on that?
Yeah, so I think going back to just, day one, I was trying to grow my business. And, as soon as I made money, I was just watching people that had already done it, and I knew I was no different. So I just need to follow the system. I remember hearing a podcast actually from you saying, someone asked you, I think, what was your biggest regret? And I think it was not starting soon enough building your agency. And so that was something I was trying to take all the negatives that I heard from people that was there, what they would have done better. And I was trying to not fall into those same pitfalls. So right away, day one, I was recruiting. And day one, you pushed me to get a second recruiter, right? So, we had the couple of phone calls. And so I was just taking advice, and I was just, I knew I was new to the business, and I knew I'd be a fool to not take not take advice from people that are already where I want to get to. And so from day one, I was just laser focused on building my business and, reinvesting every dollar that I had back into helping, whether it's agents with leads, recruiting, anything that I do can kind of fuel my business, is what I was trying to accomplish during those first couple months when I started. Once I kind of figured out that I could do this, it was just about, okay, I'm making money now. What do I do with it? And I didn't change my lifestyle at all. Didn't, go out and buy any fancy cars or, anything lavish. I lived my same lifestyle I was living before, and I just threw everything back in besides what I needed to pay my bills.
100%, which you could have increased your lifestyle dramatically,
100%.
Going from where you were to, 300 grand in the first year of, income, not the revenue, but 300,000 of income just selling. So, Matt, is it the same for you, or you had a little bit different thought process on the building?
Yeah, I was definitely a slower start on the building. And it's frustrating because that's everyone's biggest regret. And I like to think that I was doing a good job of copy and pasting and learning from other people at the beginning, but I delayed it. I think there's a lot of different things that went into it. But I was nervous to share it with other people. Felt like I would be that guy. I don't know why it took me so long to really see how good of an opportunity this is for everyone, not just for me or Mike or you or, any of us here. So, I delayed the process longer than I should have. But I've been, dumping everything I can into it since really the beginning of this year to make up for that lost time. But yeah, I think it's just something where people need to understand how awesome this opportunity is and make sure they're sharing it right away, because if this is something they're going to do for any length of time, you're going to want to share it with other people, whether you end up wanting to build the team or not. It's just so cool. And it's just such a life-changing opportunity. Why not share it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you guys are going to be at 500,000 in December. Do you guys know how much your bonus is going to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit over 16 grand, which is stupid because our combined salary at our previous job wasn't even half of that for a month. and so not including what we're writing, overrides, anything like that, just the bonus is going to be more than double that. So that's pretty stupid in a good way.
Bonus, right? You said that right. It's just a bonus. It's not including overrides, not including your personal sales, which we know at that level at 500,000, your overrides and the personal production is a lot more than the bonus. So especially between two of you that's running the same company, which is brilliant. I like how Caleb, marketed and populated this idea of, running, two people running the same agency, which is not like anybody before him really done. So this is tremendous. But for everybody that's listening to us that's not with Family First Life yet, my question to you is, why are you still not working with us? Right? That's crazy, because here's what, and when I say at $500,000 in issue paid volume, your personal production and your override is, and I think override is still probably maybe equal a little bit more than the bonus at that point. So, and a lot of people in a lot of companies, they're at the time when they're running a $500,000 agency, they basically, they're out of the field. And the reason they're out of the field a lot of times, Matt, is because their override is probably 30, 40, 50, 60%, or even more than that. So they can definitely afford to get out of the field. But what do you think about that, Matt? Can they really scale the business from there? And what are your thoughts on that? And why everybody should be working with you, Matt? If somebody's listening, by the way, Matt is working in Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois area, so he's all over the place. He's probably traveling in a lot of other different places. But tell everybody, Matt, like why people should be working with you in particular, if they're watching, and how do they reach you as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's such a great opportunity here that we have at FFL, and I think that the partnership that I have with Mike, I kind of joke with anyone on our team, you kind of get two for the price of one when you're working here at Inception. You have Mike and I both have strengths and weaknesses, but I think they're very complementary of each other. And Mike has just proven time and again how good he is at being patient with new agents, helping them really get through those first struggles and hit the ground running. And then, I might not be the most patient person, but I've learned a lot and I've made a lot of mistakes in this business. So for me, I think it's just one of those things where if you ask, I'm happy to tell you, what mistakes I made, what I could have done differently, and maybe a thing or two that I might have accidentally done right to help people ride at a high level and grow a business. Just with the two of us, we've made so many successes and mistakes that there's a lot going on in the team. And then obviously you throw all that in combination with the fact that we're a part of Caleb and Gabe's business that is absolutely exploding, able to follow right in your footsteps and your successes. And then along with Mark's, I just don't think there's any better place to be in America, in the insurance industry, or even here at Family First. I think we're in the best position possible. And 2022 is going to be a really, really explosive year for us here at Inception.
100%. Matt, how did they find you? If somebody liked you, and by the way, I'm going to add something here. I do know that Matt is really caring about every single person he works with. So, and he calls people nonstop from his car in between appointments. So, and plus he issued over 500,000 this year. So if you want to work with him and Mike, his partner, Mike is going to issue close to 400,000 this year. He's been here for a little bit shorter amount of time, and they're running this amazing agency. But guys, if somebody wants to reach you, how do they reach you? Where do they call or email? So how do you want them to contact you?
No, just a text or a phone call is totally fine. I'm pretty OCD about my notifications, so if they reach out, I'm going to get back to them. But my cell phone's 219-776-6788. So 219-776-6788. They can text or call me anytime. I'll get right back to them. And yeah, we'd love to have anyone on the team that's looking for a change of a change in their life. I think Mike and I came from very similar positions where we were comfortable, but not happy with what we were doing and not happy with where that road was going to lead. You know, the 40-year corporate ladder grind wasn't attracting either of us at all. And so then you come over here to FFL and you look at, you know, ramping that up a little bit, but for 2 years, it's a no-brainer.
100%. Yeah, it's crazy because I was watching this podcast with Sean Mike and Real Bradley recently. I'm pretty sure you guys caught that one too. So he's you know, he has a podcast and he's always trying to help people deliver value to them through the podcast. And this, you know, first time he said, because he now partnered up with Family First Life, you know, and, you know, he wants to work here and grow his agency. He said, I've given a lot of advices to people through my podcast, you know, as far as, you know, financials, you know, motivation, you know, all kinds of different things, you know, instill the belief in people saying they can do it. They just have to, you know, keep pushing, you know, and he said that it felt like, and I'm not quoting him, but the meaning is the following. So he's saying, I've been trying to help all these people, but I never showed them the practical way of doing it. And he's like, once I learned about Family First Life, now he said, I also on top of motivation and the other things, also had a solution for people to actually solve their financial problems and jump on board. So, Michael, what one can expect if they reached out to you or Matt today? What can they expect out of their you know, of their journey to be like? What can you promise them? What you absolutely not going to promise them, and also what they should expect? You know, kind of think about before they reach out to you. What kind of qualities they should possess? You know, like do they have to get have a certain degree to call you and join you, or like talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'd say anyone that starts here is, you know, no matter what background you have. I mean, Matt and I had no no life insurance background at all. It's just the willingness to be coachable right off and to be a hard worker is really the two main things. I mean, for me personally, getting started, I guess there's a lot of my mindset, right? I had no plan B when I left my former company. I was going to figure this out. So from day one, when I first started, I had with my leads, I spent about 8,000 in leads before I got my first lead order, right? So the month of December, I locked area out and I started, I kept paying for leads and they weren't coming in. And so that was obviously pretty, trying to tell my wife that, hey, we have $8,000 on the credit card and no money coming in was a little bit tough. But I just knew eventually when those leads started coming in, I was going to get to work. And so I work 7 days a week. So it's not anyone that's coming in. This is, like Matt said earlier, it's not going to be without a lot of hard work. And if you're a hard worker and you're coachable, those are the two main things to be successful. And then just have that mindset that there's no plan B going into this, that you're going to figure it out. Because if you come in there with doubts of like, well, I'll try it out, and it's going to be really hard to be successful here. But if you're willing to be coachable, that's what Matt and I love to do. We love to help people. We are devoted to that every day on our team, our team calls when we have them, it's how can we help you? How can we help, but you got to reach out to us a little bit as well. But if you're willing to take the guys that reach out to us the most are the most successful. So I would say you have a partnership with Matt and I, you take that to full advantage. Call us every single day if you have to, when you're in the home, anytime. And we got that from you, Ivan. Every time I called you when I was new, you answered every single time. And so Matt and I try to be that way where we're always available and accessible to people that want to grow, because those are the people that we want to work with. And if you want to change your life, that's what, that's what coming to our, Inception is, it will do for you. Where we love working with people. We love getting to, building that relationship and helping you build a business.
100%. Mike, what I'm gathering here, what I'm hearing from you is, you have to be open-minded enough to come here and remove any doubts in your belief in yourself, and say, I can do this as well. You also need to have some money to start investing in leads. And I'll be honest with you, not $8,000, because not a knock on Caleb and Gabe, but that's probably their mismanagement of them letting you pay $8,000. And I'm glad you had $8,000 to pay for leads. But typically, what we say here, if somebody has $1,000 to $1,500 to invest in leads, that's good, to start with, because that's going to be your only lead investment, that you ever going to make, because the rest will come from future profits, future sales. And I love it when some agencies that don't have leads, they saying, oh, we don't charge any agents for leads. Yeah, that's right. So you don't have any. Like, what are you going to charge them for? Number one. And some agencies saying, hey, our leads going to be like quarter or the 10th of the price of what you guys getting them. To what I tell them, well, listen, I mean, this is all cool, but the thing is, they're probably making 120% spread on you. So I'll give you all the leads for free. Believe me, I'll buy them for you. Don't, and it's crazy, but that's what I'm hearing from you, Mike. Basically, hey, if you're willing to be coachable, if you're willing to reach out, if you're serious about this, and if you're not just going to play around, because if you don't have money to invest, if you're not willing to be coachable, work hard, which we're going to dive right into it in just a second, then please don't mess with us. Don't even try to be reaching out. We're not trying to hire everybody. We're just trying to help people that are serious about changing their life around, changing their situation, and and have access to everything we've got to offer. So and this is great. And by the way, this is funny how I'm trying to hire this guy that issued $2 million with another agency so far in about 4 years that he's been working. And that's where this comment came from. And he's like, I'm only spending $200 a week on leads. And I'm like, all right, so your upline probably paying for the rest, right? He's like, yeah, that's right. And I'm like, well, okay, got it. What else does he do for 100% override? And he's at 65, and his upline probably getting 85% override on him. So I'm like, what else do they do? What are what they're really doing to you for you to keep staying there? I really don't get it. So he obviously is a hard worker. But speaking of the hard work, Matt, what does hard work really mean? For everybody also to clarify, if they want to come on board and be successful with FFL Inception, what is hard work really means? Can you go over like day to day with us and just so understand what it takes to issue 550 and manage the agency?
For sure, yeah. I'm still trying to get over writing $500,000 in a year at a 65% comp. That's tough.
I'll be taking him out for a Friday night date instead of my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he can literally double his comp by coming over here. Double his income.
I'll rent him an office too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And I'll probably be buying him a car every single year.
Yeah. That's tough. But yeah, it just speaks to the uniqueness of FFL, and how we have such a giving, spirit of giving comp, giving money to help people really build their own business. But yeah, as far as hard work goes and the expectations, it's really, really simple. I came into this thing and I'm not the brightest bulb. So I just was like, okay, what do you guys have going on and how do I do that? So I've never tried to switch anything up. The few times I've ever tried to do my own thing, I've fallen flat on my face really quickly, so you just got to follow the system. It's being on the phone, dialing on Mondays by 8:00, tracking your dials, having enough leads and all organized and ready to go, coming into that morning, staying on the phones until you have 15 plus appointments, being on the training calls, reaching out to your managers, your uplines, or even just people that are killing it that you kind of relate to, and asking for help. And then getting out in the fields on the run days, Tuesday and Wednesday, going out there, seeing families, 15 plus, and rinse and repeat. Do that again Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and just keep following the system. Don't try to be on an island by yourself. That's ridiculous. We're a team spirit, a team environment here, and there's so many agents that they just try to do it on their own. They don't reach out. They don't plug in, they're not a part of the trainings. They're not a part of the groups. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. That's such a lonely way to go about this. And you're gonna crash and burn eventually. We're all human. You can't keep up that level of intensity for months and months at a time just by yourself. But if you're reaching out, if you're plugging in, if you've got people that you're talking to on a regular basis and reaching out for help and all that, that's how you really keep up the consistency. Because the beauty of this business is consistency, right? Especially when you're new. You can't go out and have a 60,000 issue paid month and then take the next month off. That's not how this works. That's going to be a really ugly situation. So just the consistency of following the system day in and day out. And the beauty of this is we're not doing that for 10, 20, 40 years. Can you do that for 2 years? I can. I think most people can. And it's not to say, I've had the occasional day or two off with my wife and, being able to do stuff that we wouldn't have been able to do, but it's delayed gratification, right? It's sacrificing now for greater gain down the road. And so that's what keeps motivating me and pushing me is, yeah, I'd love to sleep in, or yeah, we'd love to go on a week-long vacation, but that week-long vacation, what is that actually costing us? And it's not worth the price for it, and I'm just following your example and your leadership on that type of mentality too. So that's what I think it takes to come here and to expect and to really kill it and kill it consistently, whether you're just riding or growing a business or both at the same time. There's always another gear, just when you think you're working as hard as you can, there's another level to shift into. And so it's constantly looking for that, because as soon as you get comfortable, that's where this thing starts to fall apart.
Yeah, 100%. Love it. So if you can relate, reach out to Mike and Matt, and they'll get you going. But what is your goal for 2022, guys?
Mike, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I mean, we're just, I think our goal is to hit integrity. That's the end of the day, right? Is like we're both driven towards the same goal. That's why we get along so well, I think, is we both have the same laser focus on getting to integrity. And then once we get there, is to get as many people from our agency there as well. That's what FFL is all about, is about giving and pulling the next person up, paying it forward. And I think that's both of our, our focuses going into 2022 is to get to integrity, and then, change as many people's lives as possible. It's a great opportunity.
100%. Yeah. Where else can you just get into industry, learn it real quick, because sales side is not complicated as long as you're willing to come to Matt and Mike's office and just dial the phone. Again, they're right outside of Chicago, in Northwest Indiana. And it's probably closer from downtown Chicago to get to where you at, guys, than to our office here in Naperville. So
yeah, it's a 40-minute drive. We've got a gorgeous office being renovated right now. We'll be moving in 2 weeks. Huge dial room, huge training center. It's going to be incredible. So yeah, it's the perfect place to be.
Yeah, if and where else can you do that? Come into the business, learn it real quick. The sales side is not that complicated. Start making life-changing money right away, where you can increase the lifestyle, but you can also put it all back in the business and build a company that's going to be sold to largest distributor of life and health insurance products in the United States. I think it's over $7 billion in sales in last year. So, which is incredible. And where else can you do that? And Family First Life is your shortcut to that financial freedom, and not just financial freedom, but abundance for generations. So again, for those that are willing to work. So anyways, Matt, Mike, what are you guys going to issue pay in 2022 as an agency?
Yeah, we're going to do a 5X. We're going to end this year as Inception at about 3 million for the year. And we're going to do a 5X, get to 15 million by the end of next year. We'll be doing about 2.5 million per month by the end of the year. Looking to have 2 board members on our team as well by the end of next year. So that's what the numbers are going to break down to. It's going to be huge. We're going to see explosive growth. It's going to be the year of Tri-State. 320 is exploding, and Inception's a part of that. And we're going to be the major player in Tri-State next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Thanks for sharing that. My question is, why not you? If you're already in the insurance industry, we have no idea why you're not working with us, because it's crazy. Nobody pays that much in commission. Nobody pays that much in bonuses. Some people question our integrity and how we help community. Believe me, nobody donates more money than Family First Life combined. And even smaller agencies, up and coming agency like Caleb's running an orphanage in Ghana, which is insane, spending an incredible amount of money on that. So we're not just talking about even a 10% of the company. So we combine a fraction of the company, but we have a lot of these agencies. And even those agencies running their own programs, helping communities, and it definitely is incredible. So if you're not working with us, I really don't know why. So, and let us prove to you that we are a place to be. So just reach out to Mike and Matt and get your piece of the pie. So they'll 5x. 3 million a month. I'm sorry, 3 million in 2021, and they're gonna go to 15 million in 2022. So, which they're gonna grow by $12 million. And my question to you is, what portion of that do you want? If you're working with Matt and Mike, what portion of 12 million do you want? How much do you want to grow? So, and they're more than willing to help. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. We are looking to split the pie. We're looking to help people. We're looking to bring somebody with us in the journey to financial freedom, as that's where it's fun, and it's not just loud words, and it's not just, hey, we make money, come work with us, and it's all fake. Come to us, come to Matt. He's going to show you his real bank deposit statements, and he's going to prove to you that just on his personal production, outside of overrides, bonuses, he deposited $550,000 this year. So he can prove it to you. So, and it's not just that, but it's not like we don't want more money. It's just we're saying it's much more fun when there's other people beside us that's also roll and make a lot of money. So give us a parting shout, guys, and we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, I would just say that this is the best opportunity out there. It's crazy. That's where I got the idea for our team name, Inception. At the end, obviously a huge blockbuster movie. At the very last scene, it kind of ends, and you're not sure if they're in reality or not. And so that's where I kind of got our team name, because this is just such an incredible opportunity. That was my first thought when I saw it from Caleb and Gabe. Like, either that's, like Mike said, either that's the best thing ever, or that's a huge scam. And so what I always encourage people, if you think this is a scam, that's fine. You're not signing any contracts with us. Come prove yourself right. Prove yourself right. If this is a scam, prove it.
That's awesome. I never knew that's where the name came from, but I guess it came from you living the life and not even thinking, is it real or not? I don't even feel that it can be real. So that's awesome. I never asked you that. I'm glad you said that. Now that's funny. I'll be telling this story to everybody. Mike, give us a couple words and we're going to wrap it up here.
Yeah, I think anyone that's on the fence about joining, there's three things that attracted me to this business. Number one, it was the uncapped earning potential. Where else can you, like in my old job, I was capped at what I could make. No matter how many hours I could put in, 90, 100 hours, doesn't matter. I was going to make the same amount every single week. And here you have uncapped earning potential. Whatever you put into this business is what you get out of it. And there's nothing else like it. Where you can be a business owner, I think, is the second thing. Where it's something I'd always wanted to do, but I didn't really know what to get into to become a business owner, right? Where here you can, you run your own business, and that's great. You have your own schedule that you kind of put together. And then the third is you can do this anywhere, no matter what state you're at. There's no, I have family in Maine, I have family in Texas, and I can go run in those areas and be with them, but also, build my business from wherever. So it doesn't matter what state you're at, across the US, you can come work with us. We'd love to pour into you guys and make your dream a reality here. So
100%. Mike, what's your phone number?
It's 219-801-2163.
No doubt. Reach out to Mike as well. Thanks for being here, guys. Really appreciate you. A lot of good stuff. and I love your mindset. I love where you're going. And by the way, I have zero doubt that you're going to hit 15 million in 2022, like zero doubt. So last thing, I'm going to get out of the way here. I'm not sure if you noticed, but we have annual convention coming up in beginning of February next year in Miami. And if you're an agent and just watching this podcast because you like Matt and Mike, you'd like to hear from them and accidentally hear on this quick business overview, don't forget to register, and you're going to learn a lot. And if you're not sure, also, and you in the Miami area, come check us out in the beginning of February. Come see us. Come find Mike, Matt. It's going to be 15,000 people, and the event's going to be hosted at Marlins Stadium. 15,000 people. Yeah, that's going to be insane. I don't know how it's all going to go, how all the logistics going to be worked out, but we like challenges. So I'll see you guys then, and really appreciate you joining today. Thanks for your time, guys. Appreciate you.